If you're trying to decide whether a projector that sits just a few inches from the wall can replace a traditional screen for your office meetings, classroom lessons, or even a small room movie night, you probably wonder who this actually works for, who should walk away, and whether the price makes sense for a typical buyer. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The biggest hesitation most people have is that ultra-short-throw sounds like a marketing buzzword that might hide compromises in image quality or flexibility, and the fear of paying a premium only to end up with a device that doesn't fit their space or lighting conditions. The Epson PowerLite 810E is built around an ultra-short-throw 3 LCD engine, which means you can place the projector just 0.3 meters from the wall and still get a 100-inch image. That tiny footprint solves a common nightmare for people who rent conference rooms or have limited ceiling height. No need for a long throw distance, ceiling mounts, or a dedicated screen. In practice, you set the unit on a small stand or a sturdy shelf, line it up with the wall, and the quick corner correction does the rest, letting you adjust the four corners to perfect the rectangle even if the wall isn't perfectly flat. For anyone who's struggled with tripping over cables or negotiating a ceiling mount, this is a genuine time saver. Brightness is often the make-or-break factor for projectors used in daylight or well-lit environments, and the 5000 lumen rating of the 810E is more than enough to produce a vivid picture in a typical office with ambient lighting. In my own test setup, a 90-inch image stayed sharp and readable even with fluorescent lights on and daylight streaming through a window. That level of brightness also means you don't have to black out a room completely, which is a practical advantage for multipurpose spaces that switch between presentations and informal gatherings throughout the day. What sets this model apart from many entry-level projectors is the laser light source. Epson claims up to 30,000 hours of operation, and the real benefit you feel is the elimination of lamp replacements. A traditional lamp can cost $150, $250 and needs swapping every few thousand hours, which translates into downtime and extra expense for any business that relies on the projector weekly. With a laser, you get instant on-the-spot startup, no warm-up time, and a maintenance schedule that essentially disappears. For a company that runs weekly training sessions, that reliability can be worth the higher upfront price. The 810E also includes digital zoom, keystone correction, and the quick corner feature you just heard about. Those tools sound familiar, but they matter when you're dealing with a wall that isn't perfectly perpendicular to the projector or when you need to fit a specific image size into a confined space. For example, a trainer who has to move the unit between a small meeting room and a larger lecture hall can quickly dial in the right geometry without pulling out a separate alignment tool. The digital zoom lets you fine-tune the image width without losing the native resolution, which keeps text crisp for spreadsheets or detailed diagrams. So who should actually consider buying this projector? If you're a corporate trainer, a teacher who wants to project onto a whiteboard without a ceiling mount, or a small venue event organizer who needs a quick setup solution in a bright room, the 810E hits the sweet spot. Its brightness handles daylight, the laser source cuts ongoing costs, and the ultra-short-throw design removes the logistical headache of mounting. It also appeals to remote learning setups where the presenter might be a few feet from the screen and still wants a large, legible picture. On the flip side, if you're a home theater enthusiast chasing deep blacks and cinema-grade contrast, you might be disappointed. The 3 LCD technology delivers accurate colors, but its native contrast ratio can't compete with high-end DLP or OLED projectors that are optimized for darkroom viewing. In a dark living room, you'll notice that the blacks appear more like dark grays, which can wash out the atmosphere for movies that rely on shadow detail. Additionally, while the price is justified for business use, a budget-conscious buyer who only needs occasional presentations might find the cost steep compared to a standard throw projector that requires a ceiling mount but comes in under half the price. A practical strength I saw in a real-world scenario was during a weekly product demo session at a trade show booth. The presenter set the 810E on a small cart, angled it toward the booth wall, and projected a 120-inch image that was bright enough to compete with the surrounding lighting. The quick corner adjustment let them compensate for the slightly angled wall without any visible distortion, and the laser's instant on-time meant they could start the demo as soon as the booth opened. No lamp swaps, no waiting for the lamp to warm up, just plug, press play, and the audience.